Hi friends! We are still in Bali. This is the second episode to the question and answer segments. And in this episode, I will be talking to you about relationships. We briefly touched about relationships, like how to get over them, fear of commitment, all that in the last episode. So if that is a question that you have, please watch that and come back here. I'll be waiting for you, my pookie. If you are new here, kia ora, my name is Shieri. I am Japanese. I grew up in New Zealand. I grew up in Bali, whatever. I don't think you care. Let's talk about relationships. Many of you ask, how do I deal with rejection? Or more specifically, I asked someone out and they didn't like me. How do I get over this? Think about a food. Think about your favorite food. Mine is probably nasi campur. Now think about all the people that love that food. Bro, the entire island of Bali loves nasi campur, okay? But now think about the people that wouldn't like that food. Does that change the value of the food? Now, this is kind of a metaphor that I came up on the spot, but it's inevitable for people to not like you, and it's inevitable for people to like you. The ratio of that does not have anything to do with who you are as a person. It's not up to you for someone to not like you, okay? It's strictly just an opinion. It's like, do I like this painting? Yes. Are there people that are gonna not like this painting? Yes. Is it gonna change the value of this painting? No, it's still gonna be sold the same price. It's one thing to be able to understand that, but it's another thing to not let that affect your self-perception. And self-perception is something I talked in the last episode, but it comes from everyday practice, right? It comes from, okay, this is like a beefy topic, but self-confidence, self-value, self-worth all comes from your value that you would see in yourself from a third person perspective. So as long as you're doing things that you would deem someone that you think is, a good person would do, then it's merely a yes or no question whether or not you are a good person. I think people who are kind to strangers, people who take care of their family and prioritize their family are fantastic, beautiful people. So I'll do that. So now, as long as I'm reflecting these practices and these actions and these values and morals that I would deem valuable in another person, it's merely just a fact if I'm a good person or not, because I'm already reflecting these things. And as long as I am, that's what's assuring me of my self-value. And so what other people think of me, I do not give a fuck, because I know my self-value and my self-perception is solid enough because I've been doing it for so long and I've been feeding this self-perception for so long that one opinion or one rejection does not affect me. I do not care. In the back of my mind, I just think you have bad taste, and that's just the realistic thought that I have. But if you liked someone and you asked them out, for example, and they rejected you, I understand that it can be really, really hurtful and it can completely hinder your self-image. I understand the hurt that you might be feeling, but it's also the reality that your life will be full of rejection. Job rejections, another romantic rejection, whatever it may be, your life is going to be full of rejections, and you will keep getting hurt by them if you don't solidify your own self-value. And the beautiful thing is your self-value is completely up to you and your actions and your thoughts. And I know that was a big old thing that I just lumped onto you, but first let me assure you that their rejection has nothing to do with you and nothing to do with your self-value. It's merely their opinion and their taste, and that's not up to you. So you shouldn't even think about that, because that's not up to you. Like, honey, there's so many things that in this world that you have to think about. Do not let other people's opinions be one of them, because then you're just going to be overwhelmed. Because how many people are in this world? 8 billion. Are you going to care about what 8 billion people think about you? No, you don't have time for that. So now that you understand that rejection is not about you and it's not personal, now you can spend your time to solidify your self-value and invest your time into things that make you feel assured in your self-value. And I have a full video about self-value and self-perception somewhere on my podcast episodes. I'll link it somewhere if you want to dive more into it, but I'm not going to dive into it because we have a lot of questions for this episode. But I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Rejection has most probably have nothing to do with you, and they probably just have bad taste. That's my opinion. Next question, how do I deal with mixed signals? I don't know if he likes me, but he keeps talking to me. This is coming from a person that has an avoidant attachment style, okay? So keep that in mind. If someone is giving me mixed signals, that is such a big turnoff for me. You are either interested in me or you're not. And if you're giving me mixed signals, I will take it as you're not, and I'm not gonna like you. Like, that's honestly such a turn off to me. Like, if you cannot make up your mind whether you like me or not, why would I like you? Because I have made up my mind that I like me. So if you can't see that, why would I ever entertain you? If you do not see me for who I am, if you do not see me for who I see myself, why the fuck would I entertain you or like you? And this is the beautiful thing that comes with, you know, the journey of self-love and self-confidence. I have placed so much value in myself because I've put in so much work to realize this value, and I've put in so much time and effort into these practices that make me feel good about myself, that reassures my self-confidence, that I'm not going to let someone who are confused about whether they like me or not to ruin this for me. And I understand that might be toxic to, some people might think that's toxic, but I honestly have zero desire or desperation for male or female companionship that's romantic, because my friends and my family and myself, this fulfills that, like, I don't know, void that I have. Would it be nice to have someone, to cuddle at night? Sure. But if that person is confused about me, I'd rather not have it. If you make this journey of seeing who you are and seeing the, value you bring to other people, you're not going to waste it on people who are confused about you, because there's going to be people who see you fully for who you are, see you fully for what you bring to the table. And so why would you waste your time on someone who's confused? Do you know what I mean? So that's how I would take it. Wait, what was the question? Mixed signals is a no. Leave them, because there's someone that will give you clear signals. Okay. But side note, okay, this painting is gonna fall on me. And the reason why I say that this is coming from someone with an avoidant attachment style is because I also understand that it takes time for someone to see your value. It takes time for someone to get to know you, and it's unfair to compare their, bank of knowledge of me to the bank of knowledge I have to myself, because I've had 20 years to get to know myself, and I have 20 years of opinions and beliefs of myself that has led me to where I am now, that led me to the self-perception and the self-view that I have of myself. And if someone doesn't see that yet, it's unfair for me to compare this 20 years of experience I have with Shieri to their, I don't know, couple days, couple months, couple weeks. For me to cut them off completely just because they haven't, made up their mind, which is completely reasonable because they haven't seen me to the full experience that I've seen me. And when I say that, if you don't see me for who I am, like, whatever, like, I don't like you, it's also kind of unfair. So this is the seesaw argument that I have in my brain whenever I try to unpack this topic on my own. So let me know what you guys think, how you would deal with it. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, I don't know, in my DMs, in my comments, whatever. I don't know how this works yet, but I would love to know what you think, because I haven't figured out life yet at all. I don't have any qualifications in mental health or anything. I just have a lot of self-reflection time in my bank, and that is why I'm here. And y'all seem to like it, so I'm going to continue making these videos, but let me know what you think about this topic, okay? Okay, moving on. Opinions about long distance. This is a topic that I can talk about personally, because I have 2 long distance relationships in the past, which have not, worked out, obviously. I think relationships when you're young, when you have no intention of getting married yet, are just experiences. So I wouldn't put any expectations on them. Like, if I got into a relationship now, I'm not going to be like, oh, we're going to get married. I would just see it as an experience, as a learning experience. If it ends up in marriage, then that's also another learning experience. Maybe it's, but I used to place a lot of expectations on relationships and think, okay, this is going to be the one, when I was literally like 17. And that, compared to now, I feel like is a lot of growth, a lot of, acceptance, and the reality of you're probably not gonna, date one person for the rest of your life. There's people that will, and that's also a completely realistic probability, but I travel a lot. I have a lot of countries that I want to live in, so is that probable for me? Probably not. And this is completely individual. This depends on each person's individual lives, but for me right now, I wouldn't put myself in a long distance relationship. If I met somebody that was about to leave in 2 weeks, I would not be in a relationship with them. I would not entertain them. From where I stand, from my age and what I want in my life at the moment, a long distance relationship does not add to it, add to my life, add to what I want, add to what I'm trying to do. I also hate texting. And so this is coming from me, okay? if I'm in a relationship with somebody for months and then they had to leave for a couple months and then there's a plan for them to come back, sure. I would do 2, 3 months, 4 months, whatever, of a long distance relationship because there's already a foundation of that relationship, and it's more just so an investment. And I'd see it as more valuable than, a relationship that's been going on for 2 weeks because I haven't invested myself into it. There hasn't been, I think you know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that in my sexy 20-year-old now self, I would not put myself in a long distance relationship if the relationship hasn't been like a short distance relationship before. If you are in a long distance relationship currently, I respect you. I praise you. I could not do it right now. So I think you are a very strong soldier, and I think you have far better communication skills than I do, and I commend you. But if my daughter came to me saying, there's this guy that I met 2 weeks ago, but he's leaving, but I really like him and he's my boyfriend, I would tell her, I love you, my darling. You can try long distance, but I wouldn't have too much expectation on it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. There's going to be a world full of people that will love you regardless. Okay? So that's my opinion. That is what I would tell my daughter. How do I get over the fear of commitment or avoidance? This is a question I briefly answered in my last episode, but as I mentioned before, have an avoidant attachment style. And I didn't used to have this attachment style. I used to be very anxious. When I was anxious, I was in a very unstable relationship with a man. And he would not, okay, maybe it's not entirely what he would do. It was also, my mental state. I wasn't doing very well, but it was like an addiction. I was like, oh my God, he hasn't texted me. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Like a goblin, like a gremlin waiting for his text or waiting for any reassurance that he loves me. So I was very anxious then. And then I got into a very healthy relationship where I had a very neutral avoidant attachment style. I don't know, but I was just healthy. I didn't overthink anything. He constantly reassured me of his love. So did I for him. And so I thought I was cured. And then I was single in Tokyo and, lived that life. And I was utterly disappointed by the dating pool in Tokyo. So I've just become super self-sufficient, self-independent, and I created this beautiful life for myself, which I recognize is so delicate and so fragile. And that's why I'm very hesitant in letting people into this life, because it's so beautiful, and I love the life that I have now so much that I'm really hesitant in letting like a man or a woman into it, because I don't want to ruin it. And I think that's the reason why I have an avoidant attachment style, is because I don't want people to hurt me and I don't want people to hurt this life. And so instead of, exploring the idea and the potential of what could be a beautiful relationship, I think it's the easier choice to push them away before they can possibly hurt me. And so this is me choosing risk over opportunity. Is that healthy? In some cases, yeah. In some cases, no. So I can't really give you advice on this because I'm struggling with the same thing. Do I have a fear of commitment? I don't think so. I don't want to go into, I don't believe in hookups. I don't believe in one-time things. I only believe in, short-term relationships or long-term relationships. And I hate people that play around. I hate people that have like rosters and shit. Like, I don't believe in, what even is rosters, How do people have like 6 people on the line and not feel exhausted? I feel like I text 3 people maybe on a weekly basis, and that's enough for me. I don't understand how people entertain 6, men and women on Snapchat at a time. That's just a difference in values and morals. So I'm not putting them down. I'm not shaming them. I don't care. Like, you're not me. So I don't care what you do. But yeah, that's just from where I stand. I'm also struggling with, an avoidant attachment style. I don't think I have a fear of commitment because, I love long-term things. Like, I just celebrated a 15th year friend anniversary with one of my girlfriends. That's the kind of girl I am. Okay, I'm loyal. I love loyal people. I love, hard conversations that reestablishes relationships, even if it's hard. And that's just the kind of person I am. And that's the kind of person my parents raised me to be. And that is why I am who I am. Anyways, that, my friends, was actually the last question for this episode. It was shorter than I thought. I hope it was refreshing. I hope it was helpful. If you have sent in a question, I am very grateful for you because you've made this episode. And if you have more questions, my DMs are always open. I see every DM. I can't reply to all of it, but I see every DM. So please feel free to DM me. I sometimes reply if I can. I love you guys. Thank you so much for giving me the life that I have. And I love you so much. If you made it to this point in the video, comment a blue heart so I know that you're the realist. I love y'all. And I will see you all soon. Love you!